Today, we are going to discuss the topic Nutrition and Health for class 9. In this chapter, we are going to be discussing about the different classes of nutrients and also about the deficiency diseases of a particular nutrient if it is going to be lacking for a prolonged period of time. Now, let's take a look at what is the meaning of nutrition. Procurements of nutrients is known as nutrition. So, how is an organism going to get its nutrition? It is from the food which it consumes. Food plays a very important role in overall growth and development of an organism. Food provides nutritional support for an organism. It is also contains essential nutrients that provide energy for performing various activities. Food helps in normal growth and development. And it is also important for repair the worn out tissues and also to protect the body from diseases. The food is basically divided into 5 classes: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. Now let's talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the energy giving food. So the carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, so that it is the reason they are known as carbohydrates. And the simplest unit of carbohydrates are the glucose. Now, based on how many molecules of glucose are present, carbohydrates are classified into 3: monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. The word mono means one. Saccharides means sugar. So monosaccharides are group of carbohydrates which are made up of only one molecule of glucose. When we talk about disaccharides, the word di means two. Saccharides means sugar. So disaccharides are carbohydrates which are made up of two molecules of glucose. Moving on the polysaccharides. The word poly means many and saccharides means sugar. So if the carbohydrates are made up of more than 2 molecules of glucose, then it is known as polysaccharides. Sources of carbohydrates: potatoes, rice, bread, carrots, honey, sugarcane are the main sources of carbohydrates. Now let's talk about proteins. Proteins are the building block of our body and they play a very important role to repair the damaged tissues and also for the development of new cells. Proteins are made up of amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids which are needed by our body. And these 9 essential amino acids cannot be biosynthesized inside our body. It is from the food we intake. Now, let's take a look at the 9 essential amino acids: phenylalanine, lysine, leucine, isoleucine, tryptophan, methionine, valine, threonine, histidine. Sources of proteins: eggs, fish, pulses, green leafy vegetables, soya beans, legumes are very good sources of proteins. Protein energy malnutrition. It is due to the absence of proteins in the diet for a long period of time. Now, protein energy malnutrition, under this we are going to be discussing about 2 disorders. One is kwashiorkor and the another one is marasmus. What is kwashiorkor? Kwashiorkor is a severe protein deficiency disease which affects children between 1 to 5 years. The symptoms of the disease are stunted growth, brown hair, mental retardation, anemia, underweight, swollen legs. And the affected child is also have pot belly. This can be treated if proper amount of proteins are supplied to the kids affected with this condition. Next, marasmus. Marasmus is a protein deficiency disorder. It is not only because of proteins, it is also because of carbohydrates. So, marasmus is a malnutrition of carbohydrates and proteins. The symptoms of the disease are poor growth, ribs clearly visible through skin, decrease in subcutaneous fat. What is this subcutaneous fat? It is nothing but a layer of fat which is present under your skin. There will be decreasing in the subcutaneous fat and hair loss. Next one, fats. Fats provide us instant source of energy. So fats maintain the cell structure and it is also helps to keep our body warm. Essential fatty acids are needed for proper functioning of brain. There is one very important fatty acid which is needed for proper function, but it cannot be synthesized by our body. That is the omega 3. Sources of fats: cheese, butter, egg yolk, nuts are very important sources of fats. Now let's talk about vitamins. Vitamins are the vital nutrients required in minute quantities to perform specific physiological and biochemical functions. The word vitamins was introduced by Dr. Funk. There are two main types of vitamin: fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E and K. Water-soluble vitamins are B1, B2, B3, B6, B12 and vitamin C. Fat-soluble vitamins are those vitamins which can get stored in the fat cells, and some vitamins which cannot be stored under the fat cells. These are known as water-soluble vitamins. Now let's take a look at the first vitamin, which is vitamin A. Vitamin A is also known as retinol. The sources of vitamin A are carrot, papaya, egg yolk, fish liver oil, and apart from this, liver, dairy products are also good sources of vitamin A. Deficiency of vitamin A. What is mean by deficiency disease? So deficiency disease is nothing but absence of a particular nutrient for a prolonged period of time. Deficiency of vitamin A will lead to nyctalopia and xerophthalmia. Nyctalopia, it is nothing but night blindness, where an individual will not able to see properly in dim light. And xerophthalmia is drying of the cornea. The next vitamin that is we are going to be discussing is vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin and it is also known as calciferol. The sources of vitamin D are eggs, dairy products, fish and sunlight. So the reason why sunlight is known as the sources of vitamin D is because there is a type of cholesterol which is known as dehydrocholesterol, which is there in our skin. So only in the presence of sunlight, this dehydrocholesterol can get converted into vitamin D. So this is the reason why sunlight is known as a source of vitamin D. Deficiency of vitamin D, which lead to a condition which is known as rickets. So the symptoms of rickets are bow legs, defective ribs, development of pigeon chest. The next vitamin, that is vitamin E. Vitamin E is also called tocopherol. The sources of vitamin E are whole wheat, vegetable oil, meat and dairy products. Deficiency of vitamin E will lead to reproductive abnormalities and sterility, where men and women will not be able to bear children. Next one is vitamin K. The sources of vitamin K are green leafy vegetables, soya beans and milk products. So vitamin K is very important for blood clotting. So deficiency of vitamin K will lead to blood clotting being prevented and also causing excessive bleeding due to delayed blood clotting. Next one, vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 is also known as thiamine, and the sources of vitamin B1 are whole grains, sprouted pulses, eggs and liver. Deficiency of vitamin B1 will lead to beriberi. So beriberi will cause symptoms like degenerative changes in nerves, and it also cause weakness and ultimately leading to paralysis of an individual. Vitamin B2 is also known as riboflavin, and sources of vitamin B2 are milk, liver, green leafy vegetables, whole grains and egg. And the deficiency of vitamin B2 will lead to a condition called chylosis or ariboflavinosis. So the symptoms of the disease are dry skin, irritation in eyes and fissures in the corners of the mouth. The next vitamin is B3. Vitamin B3 is also known as niacin, and the sources of vitamin B3 are milk, eggs and liver. Deficiency of vitamin B3 will lead to a condition which is known as pellagra. What is this pellagra? The symptoms of pellagra are inflammation of skin and loss of memory and diarrhea. And the next vitamin is vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 is also known as pyridoxine. The sources of vitamin B6 are fish, eggs, pulses. Deficiency of vitamin B6 will lead to a condition which is known as dermatitis. So the symptoms of dermatitis are scaly skin, and it also lead to nervous disorder. The next vitamin is vitamin B12, which is known as cyanocobalamin. So this vitamin is rich in food items like milk, liver and meat. Lack of vitamin B12 in our diet will lead to a deficiency disease which is known as pernicious anemia, which decreases the RBC's production and also causes degeneration of spinal cord. The last vitamin is vitamin C. Vitamin C is also known as ascorbic acid, and vitamin C is rich in food items like all the citrus fruits. Oranges, lemon and gooseberries are all a very rich sources of vitamin C. And the deficiency of vitamin C in our diet will lead to a condition which is known as scurvy. So, scurvy leads to symptoms like swollen and bleeding gums, delay in healing of wounds, and it is also lead to malformation of teeth and bones. This is about the various vitamins. Now let's move on to discuss about the different minerals which are needed by our body. Minerals are inorganic substances required as an essential nutrient by organism to perform various biological functions necessary for life. They are the constituents of teeth, bones, tissues, blood, muscle and nerve cell. So, based on their requirement, minerals are classified as macro minerals and micro minerals. The macro minerals required by the human body are calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and magnesium. The micro minerals required by the human body are also trace elements or sulfur, iron, chlorine, cobalt, copper, zinc, manganese, molybdenum, iodine, and selenium. Now let's talk about calcium. Calcium is a constituent of our bones and teeth. Calcium is very much needed for blood clotting and also for the contraction of muscles. So let's take a look at the sources of calcium. The sources of calcium are dairy products, eggs, fish, cabbage, and deficiency of calcium will lead to a condition is called osteoporosis. The word osteo means bone and porosis means pores. So osteoporosis is condition where it is caused due to the deficiency of calcium and the bones become very brittle. Next one is sodium. The source of sodium is common salt. The function of sodium is that it plays a very important role in neurotransmission. That is the transfer of message between one neuron to the next neuron. And lack of sodium in our diet will affect the nerve impulse transmission in our body. One, potassium. Rich sources of potassium are citrus fruits, banana, nuts, and sweet potatoes. Potassium plays a very important role in nerve impulse transmission and also in muscular activity. So, lack of potassium will affect the nerve impulse transmission as well as muscle activity. The last two minerals which we are going to be discussing are the microminerals. Under that, we will be discussing about iron and iodine. So first, let's take a look at iron. So iron is very important component of hemoglobin, and deficiency of iron in our diet will lead to a condition which is known as iron deficiency anemia. If the hemoglobin level decreases in the blood, then eventually the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood will also decrease, because hemoglobin plays a very important role in carrying oxygen molecule to different parts of our body. The sources of iron are spinach, dates, nuts, fish, liver, and broccoli. Now let's move on to the last micronutrient, which is the iodine. So iodine is very much important for the formation of an hormone which is known as thyroxine. Thyroxine is an important hormone which is needed to regulate the metabolism. Lack of iodine in our diet will lead to a condition is known as goiter, which leads to swelling in the neck region. The sources of iodine are iodized salt and seafood. So I hope you understood the importance of various classes of nutrients as well as the deficiency disorder. Thank you, students.